doing an updated full face routine today. This is going to be a Y2K look. So first things first, I start off with my eyebrows. This is my clear brow gel by Benefit. If you've watched my older videos, yes, I did have half eyebrows. And now I have, well, semi-grown out eyebrows. They're in the 2-month process, but this is what they look like as of now. I'm just going for that soap brow look. I want them to look laminated, glossy, and soapy, so this is why you see me doing this. This eyebrow is just not doing what the other one is doing when it comes to how it's growing out, but this is how I style it. Now that righty and lefty are done, we're gonna move into the eyebrow filling in process. So I'm using my Tarte Big Ego with my brow brush by Morphe. With the current density of my eyebrows and for the look that I'm going for, I try to fill out primarily the bottom half, and then I try to leave the top looking a little bit more sparse. And as I go ahead and draw in my strokes, I blend as I need to throughout. Going in with my Fenty Beauty concealer to frame my eyebrows. Normally I would frame my entire brow, but for what we're doing today, I'm only gonna frame the bottom and then a little bit of the tail on the back end. And this is what they look like when they're all framed. So now I'm gonna go ahead with my Anastasia Beverly Hills eyeshadow primer, and I'm going to put that all up on my eyes. Looking so beautiful. This is my Fade Into Hue palette by ColourPop. I'm using this row of green shades over here. I'm going to be starting off with the shade Dyed Up, and I'm using a Morphe angle brush just to pack it on. I'm aiming for an avant-garde type of shape, so I'm going to be making a general outline of what I want, and then I'm going to clean it up way later on. So this is just part 1 of the process. The goal is to make it so that if you're looking directly at me, it's not being swallowed by my hooded lid. So you have to make just the slightest bit of space underneath your eyebrow to just have like that part where it's separating and you actually can see the shape. But I also need to be able to look right at you and for you to be able to see the entire shape of that arch from the wing to the back end. I'm now going to use the shade Pose, and I'm going to use my finger to exclusively pack on all the makeup here. So I use it to fill in that entire green shape, and this kind of lightens out the green that I'm using here, and it also fixes the parts of it that are patchy. After I do my eyes, I use my moisturizer. This one's by e.l.f. Right when I was showing you guys how to put it on, this happened and it fell right in between my bra, so I'ma still use it. Make sure that you let it sit on your face for 5 minutes before going in with your primer. This will help your skin look smooth. Here I'm using my Fenty Beauty primer. This is the mattifying one. After you fully apply it, make sure it sits on your face for 5 minutes. That way the rest of your makeup looks nice and set and it doesn't look bumpy and cakey. Here I'm using my MAC Fix Plus spray bottle that I recycled by filling up with water, and I'm spraying it on my slightly dirty beauty blender and juicing out the water. Going in with my foundation, I'm using my Pro Filter Soft Matte Longwear Foundation by Fenty. Because it is silicone based, you really want to make sure that the water that you're using on your sponge is almost completely juiced out and that it's just damp, because this can make the makeup separate. Also, if you want to avoid under eye creasing, do not put foundation directly under the under eyes. Save that for your concealer. Now I'm going in with my concealer. This is also by Fenty. Yes, we are using the whole collection today. What I am doing different in 2021 is I am using a lot less concealer, and I am not bringing it down halfway through my face nor towards my cheek. I am mostly focusing it on my temples and on my cheekbone, and I'm even putting a little bit of it on the side of my nose. Using too much foundation can also cause the separation of makeup, but I forgot to do my neck to my chin, so that's what you see me doing here. This is me using my setting spray and going in with my setting powder. This helps keep your makeup from looking cakey, but also if you're somebody like me who has those 12-hour days and you don't always want to reapply your makeup, this will significantly help you out. Now I'm going in with my Matte Velvet Powder Foundation by Makeup Forever. Using a chunky flat wide brush works best for this formula. If you live somewhere that's crazy hot just like me, all this powder is going to be your best friend. If you thought I was done with my eyes, you were wrong. I'm going in with my Fenty foundation and I'm cleaning up the edges here. I'm trying to make it look very precise and sharp. I'm going to take that foundation and I'm going to put it right above the top, and the goal here is to blend it in with the rest of the skin. After I outline it, I go back in with an XL shadow brush and I paint back the areas that were covered with foundation. I felt like my eyebrow wasn't looking sharp enough, so I went back over it with my foundation and my powder. I'm retouching my eye makeup with my Blueberry Muffin palette by BH Cosmetics. I love the shade Sugared over here. I think it makes for the ultimate pop, so I'm gonna go ahead and apply that in my inner corner and on my brow bone. Touching up the rest of the eyes, we're using Dyed Up from the Fade Into Hue ColourPop palette, and we're using it on our under eye. This looks like an ABH palette, but it's not. It's actually filled with Kat Von D contour shades from the Shadow Play kit. The highlight and the bronzer on the bottom right are from a discontinued ABH palette. For today's look, I'm going to be using these 3 contour shades. I'll be using this angled contour brush by Morphe. Things I am doing different in 2021 when it comes to my contour is I am trying to apply it almost exclusively to the upper temple region. This is supposed to create a lifting look for the face. I'm going all around my head. This just works best for my face shape. I like to use the lightest shade and then go to the darkest. As you see, it can be very dramatic, but you can stop wherever you want if you want to make this a more IRL look for yourself. I'm using 2 chisel brushes, a thick one and a little one. I start off with where I want my nose to seem the most narrow. So I'm going down and out. Every time my camera cuts, it's because I'm going back to pick up more product, but I'm going in with the freshest product at the very edge of the line where I want it to be the most defined, and then I move that dark shadow outward. I like to put it on the bottom of my nose. I'll even do it around my nostrils. And here you see me blending out. This is the lightest shade that I'm using right now. I'm gonna go in with the next darkest shade and then that final darkest shade, which by the way is good for camera makeup. You can stop right here with the shade that I'm using. By using these contour shades on top of each other and then adding blush and highlight on top of it, it really gives it a 3-dimensional Second Life appearance, if you guys have ever played that video game. I'm using the darkest shade here. You guys can stop at the one that came before this, but otherwise this is just my camera makeup and this is me making it extra dramatic and extra snatched. After I blend everything out with my contour, I take this very light shade and I put it on my nose with my finger, and I use it to define the parts of my nose that I want to look button-like and snatched. Now I'm going to go in with my Anastasia Beverly Hills Trio blush. I'll be using the 2 shades on the ends here. And for today's brush, I'm going to be using this Morphe angled brush, but you can use anything that has an angle with it. It doesn't have to be tapered like mine. For my 2021 routine, I'm trying to create a lifted effect with my makeup. So what I'm doing differently is I'm applying it at the highest point of my cheekbones, and I'm running it up into the temples. I like to run it on the top of my forehead as well and bring that down towards the center because I think that it helps make my forehead look a little bit smaller. Also, I like to create a sun-baked effect, so I like to put it on my nose and I like to run it over the bridge of my nose as well. Now, I know I'm annoying for this, but I'm going in with the Discontinued highlight by Anastasia Beverly Hills. I'm sorry, I won't stop until I'm done using it, but first I mist it and then I put it onto my nose and I try to create a very defined line towards the center, and if it looks a little harsh, I try to diffuse it by patting it out very gently, but I basically like to make sure that it is bright and shapoppin'. And I do the same thing with my cheeks as well. Here I'm using another Morphe brush and I get it misted just to create that extra glimmering type of shimmer effect. And yep, it is extra bright and I'm gonna make it even crazier. So now I'm going in again with the same exact method of misting that little fan brush and patting it down. I love this ColourPop liner. It's so cheap and it's so effective. The way I'm doing my eyeliner in 2021 is different from the way I've done it in my prior videos. This time, I'm just gonna go ahead and connect it and make a huge straight triangle. I'm not gonna do the inner bat wing, which is usually great for my hooded eyes, but I've just been having fun doing stuff that's different lately. Now I'm doing that inner corner, and this part, it's very slow and tricky. I never usually get it right. I always end up going back and cleaning it up with concealer, so if you don't get it right, that's totally okay. Now to do my lashes. I like to prepare my lashes by putting mascara on them. This way the glue doesn't stick directly to my lashes. And for today, I'm going to be using my Batty Bee lashes in #Batty. These were sent to me, but I was not asked to do them for this video. And I'm using my Kiss Lash Glue, which by the way is formaldehyde free. And this is what it looks like right before I put my lashes on. So I wait till it's a little bit blue and they just go right on. And I'm kind of one of those freaks that likes to just do it directly with their fingers. And I also like to use the end of a makeup brush. If you have a tiny thin one, you can use it to pat it down to keep it in place. And then just poke at the corners if you're worried about any of them lifting throughout the day. Now to finish off the look, I like to use my setting powder. This is my NYX Can't Stop Won't Stop. I already used it earlier on in this video. Here's the shade that it's in. I use light to medium. I use this to absorb any excess oils, and I just go around my face with it with a patting motion and a rolling type of motion. I end it all off with my setting spray, and this keeps it looking non-cakey. This is my ColourPop lip liner in the shade Another Round, and then I'm going to be using it with the lipstick shade Parker. For today's look, I'm going to be putting mascara on my bottom row of lashes. This part is optional. I just felt like my eyebrows looked a little too filled in for my liking, so I'm using this Q-tip to go ahead and fade them out before I finish this look off. And I'm done with everything. I just have to go do my hair and change my outfit. Here's a close-up of what it looks like on my Canon camera, which is, by the way, the detail finder, the flaw picker-upper. And here is me eating donuts. And I'm using my Sony a6400 camera here with my Sigma lens, also another flaw finder, but I'd like to think that this one is pretty far away and it gives you a better visual of what it looks like compared to my Canon. So here you go, guys. That's the final look. Sorry to anybody who's watching me eat this donut and who's getting hungry, or if you're just getting disgusted, because I know I have the tendency to eat with my mouth wide open like a cow and I can see all of the Krispy Kreme flakes on the back of my throat. But you guys, this is it. I love this look. I was aiming for a Y2K type of look, even though we know that they definitely were not wearing their makeup all extra and dramatic with lashes like this back then. They also didn't do these eyebrows that I'm wearing right now, which, by the way, it's been 2 weeks since I recorded this video and my eyebrows have grown out, so I am using less product on them compared to this video. Sometimes I don't know I like a look until after I do it, and then you guys will ask me to recreate it for you guys or show you the tutorial, and then I'm like, wait, no, I'm already on to the next look, and I feel bad about that. But you guys, I'm always open to taking suggestions. If you guys have any questions, comments, go ahead and leave them down below. Otherwise, make sure to leave some love. Oh, and don't forget to hit the like. Thanks so much. Bye, guys.